2, 1.
7 things you probably didn't know you need to know. I'm Jamie East, and this is the Smart 7.
Good morning, everybody. It's Thursday, the 11th of August, and it's Global Kinetic Sand Day. Yes! And a big happy birthday to Chris Hemsworth, Hulk Hogan, Joe Rogan, and Joey Essex. They've been pleased from across the board for the government to act urgently amid the deepening energy crisis. Many households are already falling behind on energy payments even before bills go up in October and rise again next January. It's now estimated the average household could be paying £355 a month next year instead of the current £164. Liz Truss supporter James Cleverly is suggesting the focus should be on energy firms instead.
The government, the Chancellor and the Business Secretary have hauled in the leaders of the energy companies to hold them to account, to discuss with them what they are going to do with these unexpected, unplanned, unprecedented profits that they have been making.
Fresh from insisting there would be no handouts under her government, Liz Truss herself seemed to soften her stance. The Tory leadership frontrunner had a reassuring message.
I can assure people I will do all I can to make sure that energy is affordable and that we get through this winter.
But money-saving expert Martin Lewis doesn't think that's enough. The finance guru criticised both Liz Truss and Rishi Sunak's responses to the cost of living crisis.
Tax cuts are not going to help the poorest pensioners. It's not going to help those on universal credit. Dropping the green levy is a sticking plaster on a gaping wound. It's 150 quid.
The Met Office has issued a 4-day amber extreme heat warning for southern and central England and parts of Wales. Temperatures are set to hit up to 35 degrees in some areas, and Thames Water's become the latest water firm to announce hosepipe ban plans. Speaking on Wednesday, Catherine Ross from Thames Water laid out the grim reality of water levels.
We are seeing unprecedentedly low storage levels.
When you say unprecedentedly low, we mean worse than 1976, or we don't go back that far?
Yeah, I mean, we're looking at sort of less than 75% of our storage at the moment as to where we would expect it to be.
This comes as new data shows 2.4 billion litres of water are lost in leaks every day by water companies in England. But the director of Water UK, Stuart Cole, which represents water companies to ensure they're performing to their best, says occasional leaks are expected.
Leakage has come down by over a third since the 1990s, but there's clearly more to do. And that's something that we're working really hard on.
In Ukraine, the conflict continues with Dnipropetrovsk's Governor Valentin Reznichenko claiming recent Russian shelling has killed 21 people in Ukraine's central region. It comes amid reports that Russia's reinforcing its offensive in the eastern Donbass region. Former commander of the Joint Forces Command Sir General Richard Barrons says there's a risk next year of further escalation with the use of small tactical nuclear weapons. Speaking on Sky News, he gave this warning.
Its stated objective is to take the whole of the Donbass. It would like to do that by the middle of September because Russia is now making arrangements to annex the Donbass and make it part of Russia.
Meanwhile, President Volodymyr Zelensky has vowed to liberate Crimea, which Russian forces have occupied since 2014. He was speaking after a string of explosions hit a Russian airbase there, killing one person. Russia's blamed Ukraine, but Ukraine's not yet claimed any responsibility, and Zelensky didn't mention the attacks but shared this message.
This Russian war against Ukraine and against all of free Europe began with Crimea and must end with Crimea, its liberation.
Urgent polio boosters are being rolled out to 1 million children in London after evidence the virus has resurfaced. The disease can cause paralysis and has been found 116 times in London's sewage water since February. There have been no confirmed cases, but the Times health correspondent Eleanor Haywood says people who've contracted the virus are likely to be unaware.
Over the past few weeks, more samples of different sewage plants have been taken, and this shows that the virus is spreading. And it's been found in 8 London boroughs, mainly in northeast London. And that's an indication that it's spreading through the community, probably in unvaccinated children.
Still to come on the Smart 7, Lewis Hamilton races back onto screens, but not as you know him, and Discovery documentary on Army Hammer gets very dark. Right after this. Welcome back. 3,
Formula One may be having a bit of a summer break this month, but Lewis Hamilton doesn't stop. The 7-times world champion's gracing the cover of September's Vanity Fair and opening up about a range of subjects including early racist incidents, his anxiety about driving normal cars and his feelings on last year's championship. He also shared about his parents' influence on his journey in an exclusive September cover video.
I remember standing on the podium, just the happiest that I'd ever been. And I remember looking down and seeing my dad smile. And that was the day that I knew that we had made it, you know. That's the day I knew that I solidified and justified all the sacrifice that he had put in.
The real-life story of a British cave diver who led the rescue of 12 Thai boys and their soccer coach out of a flooded Tam Luang cave in Thailand has been made into a movie starring Colin Farrell. 4 years on from the rescue mission that made headlines around the world, the real-life John Valanthan has been giving his reaction to the movie 13 Lives.
I think the film's amazing. The underwater cinematography especially is absolutely outstanding. And I think Ron Howard and the whole team have done a really good job of capturing what I felt was the most important part of the rescue. The concept of teamwork, the idea that all of these organisations from different nations all came together with a single shared goal.
Armie Hammer was a successful movie star. He picked up a Golden Globe nomination for Call Me By Your Name and was seen as one to watch in Hollywood. Then came allegations of rape and sexual assault. He was dropped by his agent and now apparently lives in the Cayman Islands selling condos. But the story's even darker than it first appears, with sensational tales of bondage, sexual violence and even cannibalism. A new Discovery Plus documentary called House of Hammer delves into the story and hears from his estranged aunt Casey as the lid is lifted on a truly weird world. It drops on September the 2nd.
I get to come over to your house with my bag of goodies, completely incapacitating you until I was done with you.
I am here to talk about what happened in my relationship with Armie Hammer. I knew something about him would come up in the future because I know how careless he is.
He said things like he wanted to barbecue and eat her.
This has been The Smart 7. Wherever you're listening, do us a favour and hit the follow button. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Have a great day.
Written, produced and published by Daft Doris.